Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to part 20 in my narrated series of exposing Katie Joy in the lawsuit between her and 7M with my many balls. But as I'm still in a hotel, I don't have my balls with me, so we've just had to deal with Voodie. You guys were introduced to Voodie the other day. And as you can see, Voodie is a girl. I don't know why that the seam doesn't go to the other part. So it's, I don't know. I saw that and I'm like, now I can't look away, and I kind of want to put maybe a thong on her. I don't know. But anyway, there's Voodie. Got my tea here, and I actually have my hotel tea too. So I can have the tea. I like this constant comment tea, the black tea of the red Rubio. It's the secret recipe of orange rind and sweet spice. And so, part 20 begins with the affidavit of James Derrick. Now, I have a couple other pieces that we're going to pull from the last episodes because they're going to be very relevant here in a minute. But we're going to go here. Now, I wanted to mention something. In the way this lawsuit is, I understand the way this is worded, where it has 7M Films, Robert Shin, Miranda Derrick, and James Derrick as the plaintiffs. They are coming together as a unit, saying that, you know, they work together, that Robert Shin has the business of 7M Films Incorporated, and he had Miranda Derrick and James Derrick as clients, and collectively they lost this much money, and they are going against Katie Joy. Now, it's weird to me because of the way this is, because it says Catherine Mansky Paulson, aka Katie Joy, and Without a Crystal Ball LLC. Now, for the purposes of a lawsuit, this is written like this because they are going to be going for her LLC for the money, okay? So for the purposes of a lawsuit, I understand why this is, but what I find weird is when Katie Joy talks about herself and she'll put things out like, here at WOACB, like it's WKRP in Cincinnati. It's like, no, Katie, it's you. And for some reason you picked the word joy, which is almost like a sarcastic slap to your disposition, because there's nothing joyful about her, and it's just her. But she makes this illusion, like I say, she's very much like the Wizard of Oz, and don't look behind that curtain, because she wants you to believe that there's this whole entity there, and that there's, here at WOACB, like they're all just sitting around with their telephones and their typewriters, and you know, you can hear things coming in the newsroom. You know, you just have this whole vision that there's this, maybe like a TMZ setup, but it's WOACB, and people are calling in and telling them things and all of that. Maybe that's what's going on in her head, but it's coming down to, this is her, and she just pulled this information out that's not, if she can verify what she's saying, then wow, you know, I'll be surprised. Most of the world will be surprised. But if she could verify what she was saying, then why haven't there been criminal charges brought against Robert Shin? Because she's alleging criminal behavior without a criminal complaint of him waterboarding, etc., etc. How can she say that that has occurred? That is where it's going to come down to, her LLC may have her insured to a certain part, but her LLC covers her if she's doing her work in the purposes of the work. So her LLC would cover if something happened during the course of her doing her job and something unexpected happened. Okay? When the LLC finds out that she thinks they're going to pay out all of these damages they're alleging, they're going to come back and say, we have her covered if she was doing what she said she was doing in the course of her business. These things that she's saying are outside of the scope of her business and what we had her covered for. They're not going to pay out. There's no way they could. They may pay out a certain amount, say, okay, we'll cover this part. But I think she's in trouble. There's some serious disregard for the seriousness of what's going on her behalf. In the way that she continues to create a narrative that is not true. I don't know if she knows what she's doing and she's smarter than all of us, or if she's just really reckless and doesn't care and won't stop. So, we go forward. In the state of California, County of Los Angeles, that the undersigned, being first duly sworn, deposes and states as follows: that your affiant is one of the plaintiffs in the above entitled matter, that your affiant makes this affidavit for the purposes of setting forth default judgment against defendants. I am a professional dancer, model, choreographer, music producer, and social media content creator. I am legally married to Miranda Derrick, who is also one of the plaintiffs in the above entitled action. These statements made by defendants as outlined in the complaint as they relate to myself and my family are categorically false. I began a professional relationship with 7M Films in August of 2020 when 7M Films first began operating as a talent management company. 7M Films is still my talent management company. When I began working with 7M Films, I had approximately 465,000 followers on Instagram and 2,700,000 followers on TikTok. From August of 2020 to July of 2021, my Instagram followers increased to 8,445,000, and my TikTok followers increased to 3,100,000. So he went up about 500,000 on TikTok and 200,000, almost 200,000 in Instagram. And this is the thing with both James and Miranda. Miranda's parents said they don't want Katie Joy's help. Kind of like when bullshit Betty comes along and she's offering the help and the families are like, oh, no thanks. Same here. Miranda's family has said they don't want this. They don't want what Katie Joy is doing, that their family matters are what they are. They're family matters and they are working with them, and they don't want all of the publicity and drama. They've said, no, thank you, Katie. And she's like, oh no, I'm going to fight for your family. And they're like, please don't, crazy lady. But she continues onward. By March of 2022, just before defendants began posting about plaintiffs in this case, my Instagram followers had increased to 1,800,000 and my TikTok followers increased to 4,900,000. Since March of 2022, following the statements and posts made by defendants, my Instagram following has decreased to 1,700,000. My TikTok following has remained at 4,900,000. In the 5-month period from November 21st to March 2022, my gross income was $214,985. In the 5-month period from April 22 to August 2022, my gross income dropped to $81,845. Whoa. His income went that far down. This is huge. Ooh. It says attached is Exhibit A is a table of my estimated pecuniary losses from the current date to the year 2042. And there's that word I cannot say. I have estimated that from the year 2022 to 2042, I will lose approximately $10,164,546 due to the defendant's false and defamatory statements. All right, so we have over $10 million lost here. Okay. The defendant's false and defamatory statements have caused me to lose several contracts. The defendant's false and defamatory statements have caused me to suffer severe emotional distress. The defendant's false and defamatory statements have made me feel vilified in the public. The defendant's false and defamatory statements have made me feel personally under attack. The defendant's false and defamatory statements have caused myself and my family to have been threatened and harassed by third parties. James Derrick. Okay. Now, what we want to look at here is in this Exhibit A. This is James Derrick. This is 7M loss from dancers who quit. 7M loss from remaining dancers over here in this Exhibit A. And then I went back over here and grabbed back out of Part 19, where Shin can show that he's lost this much and then lost on behalf of the dancers. This is almost 20 million that Shin can show. That Miranda can show her 10 million. So that's an ongoing 30 million. And then James is showing it 10 million. So we're talking 40 million. $40 million has been lost from Katie Joy's recklessness in the statements that she's made. Is that really appropriate for somebody looking at somebody that has caused a proposed $40 million lost and all of the grief and heartache and people feeling humiliated and sick and losing their reputation that they had worked all of their life for? Is that really appropriate for her to say, game on, counterclaim is coming your way, when she receives a summons? Is that something that you would do? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. If I felt for a second that I could prove that somebody had committed the things that she's saying that Robert Shin did, I would be working very hard to have law enforcement investigate. I would not be trying to go and single-handedly cause emotional distress to multiple people and affecting their talent. Young people and their talent, they don't last forever. You're in the prime of your life after you've worked and worked and worked and worked, and Miranda and Derrick are in their prime. That doesn't last until you're 80. You have your prime, and then it goes down, and you live off of the money from what you had when you were your biggest. She has essentially cut them down, just went and whacked their Achilles tendons. She is very much the Tonya Harding to the dancer world. Do you remember that? When there was the ice skaters and Tonya Harding was set to lose to the other ice skater. And she had somebody come and whack her competitor's knee. This is what she did. But Katie Joy isn't a competitor. So why is she obsessed with dancers? Because she can't dance? Why is she obsessed with people who have a Christ-centered family and are engaged with their children and their husbands and their households, and they work to make a household work that has a lot of children and meal planning and laughter and joy and togetherness? Why does she hate that? She's a self-professed troll. So she's just this troll that sits there and hate watches. So then who are her fans? Who are her fan base? What is the average person watching her for? Like, what do they get out of seeing these things that she writes? Do they believe this stuff? I don't know. So here's where, it's just breaking down this aggregate loss. This was that piece from Robert Shin's from the other day. There we go. Okay, now so then we have, moving forward, we have Exhibit B. Okay. And Exhibit B, let's see, June 3rd, 2022. June 1, 2022. We're going to start here. Okay, does this make sense? 5, 6, 7. Okay, yes, I did go through and number these to make sure that they were coming out right. And I'm just going to put this behind it so that I can read this. So now what we're going to see is a little series of emails. Okay? And these are in the package that Amber Stavik, the attorney for 7M, aka Xena Warrior Princess, we're going to see some of what she put in here and see what the relevancy of this is. The information that is important is redacted. Not information that is important, but certain information is redacted. So we go over here to June 1, 2022. And it says, "Hi, something Miranda. The onboarding process has now begun. Please see attached for your fully countersigned agreement, which is set to begin on June 1st, 2022. Welcome to the family." So I'm assuming that the company that she was working for, called her. So let's say that the company is called Green. So be, "Hi, Green Miranda. Welcome to the Green family. Your new point of contact will be something green, and they will be guiding you with the following steps. They will always be available to you for any questions or comments you may have. We can't wait to see all of the amazing content you're going to create. Kindest, Influence Programmer Specialist." Okay? And then Miranda says, "Thank you. Warmest regards." Okay, I'm going to go over here. Now look at this, 2 days later. After it's all like, "Oh, here you go, and here you get a fairy godmother. If you have any questions or anything, this person will always be here for you. We're so happy. We can't wait to see what's going to come about." Now watch what happens 2 days later. And imagine how this would feel being Miranda. Here you are just on this, "Oh, that's really cool, I just got this, and this person is always going to be there for me, and it's just wonderful." Now watch what happens here. I'm drinking the tea because I'm spilling the tea. Tea! All right. So, 2 days later, she opens up her email, and this little heartbreaker, her little big heartbreaker, comes and says, hi, Miranda. So it's no longer saying whatever they called her here, like, you know. It's just plain Miranda. Thank you for the time you spent with us the last few weeks to potentially come on board as one of our influencers. After some further internal discussion with our team, we have decided that, at the present time, we are not going to have you come on board. We apologize for any inconvenience this might be causing you, and we hope to revisit a working relationship with you at a later date. Wishing you all the best. Kindest. Signed by the Influencer Program Specialist. This is the point where if you were at a job, you get called into HR, and you see this box there. And you don't know why they have a box on the table, but you soon find out that's your box to take your belongings out with you. That's what this is. But there's no box. It's just saying, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, to potentially come on. There was no potential in this. This was here. This was a fully countersigned agreement. Welcome to the family. This wasn't hey, we're kind of looking into you, seeing if we can use you here or see where we might be able to best place you. We're kind of still looking at some things, and we'll send you some things as we move forward. No, this is a hi, welcome on board to goodbye. Wishing you all the best. That's like somebody saying, bless your heart. I mean, ugh. It's just, ugh. I can just feel it all the way. And then it says, so then down here on June 2nd, so that was between the two, it says, hi, Olivia, thanks so much. Looking forward to getting the first contents out. Please provide next steps. So this is where something was still in the moving pieces of that. Now we go down here, and it's let's do this part of Exhibit B. Had it marked to do 9 and 10. Oh, I see, because there's different. Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll do it this way. So this one is June 9th. So in that same time period in June there, you know, and we're talking a year prior. Dear Ms. Wilking, because this is to Miranda Page Wilking. Termination of Elite Agreement. Dear Ms. Wilking, by this letter we are confirming the termination of your June 1st Elite Agreement. So is that saying that this was Elite? June 1, 2022. Yep. So it must have been like, hi, Elite Miranda. Welcome to the Elite family. Your point of contact, and it's probably something Elite. Wow. God, that would just hurt. Yep. Because they had this fully countersigned agreement. So now they're referring to it, but on, 2 days after that, they're like, we were potentially having you come on board, potentially coming on. No, this was a signed agreement. This was a signed, how can they break it? They must have had all kinds of things in their clause that they could do that. Okay. Miranda's maiden name is Wilkins, so that's where it has that then? Is that where they're referring to her as that? Okay. So, termination of elite agreement. Dear Ms. Wilking, by this letter we are confirming the termination of your June 1st, 2022 elite agreement with effective June 9th, 2022. Okay. We wish to remind you, however, that you are legally bound to comply with the activity restrictions set forth in paragraph 10 of the agreement for a period of 12 months following your effective termination date. See? So they terminated her. They fired her. That's what they did. She got fired. Termination. She got fired. For doing what? She didn't do anything wrong. Someone said something terrible about her. She lost her job. Is that fair? What's Katie Joy doing? Sitting there on her ugly ass couch with her ugly ass walls, their ugly ass paintings. Sitting there spewing hate, causing people who've worked a lifetime to get where they are to lose everything. Why? Why is she doing that? Why does she do this? We wish to remind you, however, that you are legally bound to comply with the activity restrictions set forth in paragraph 10 of the agreement for a period of 12 months following your effective termination date, which shall be up through June 9th, 2023. In addition, you are required to comply with the terms set forth at the paragraphs titled Confidentiality, Non-Disparagement, and Miscellaneous Provisions as applicable in perpetuity. Something intends to strictly enforce these terms against anyone who violates them. Must be elite. Failure to comply may result in your being required to pay elite liquidated damages as set forth at the paragraphs titled Liquidated Damages. We thank you for having been an elite member and wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Please direct all further communications directly to that fairy godmother that she was supposed to have. Should you have any questions? I mean, in other words, this is saying, yeah, we did you dirty. We did you so dirty. We did you filthy. But if you talk about it within the next year, we're going to take anything we want from you. It wasn't enough that we just gutted you. We'll make you pay for it. So, yeah. Remember that little, hi, welcome aboard thing? Yeah. The onboarding process has now begun. Please see attached your fully countersigned agreement. Can you imagine how much joy this brought somebody named Miranda? Can you imagine? And then to just be gutted and be having this, that not only are you fired, but let's remember, you can't talk about it. But we all have freedom of speech, right? Yeah. Not so much. So she couldn't even reach out and explain what had really happened to her. And then Katie Joy finds out about it and laughs and laughs. Finds out that she just, you know, pulled a Tanya Harding via social media. All right, now we have this. And the dates, April 6th. April 6th. 2022, 9/18. Okay, let's start this one here because it looks like this one's a little bit before this one. So it says, "Hi, I hope all is well with you." Smiley face emoji. "It has been brought to our attention that Miranda is involved in a bit of scandal at the moment involving cult accusations. While we wish this wasn't the case, Brand is asking that she remove the content posted for as soon as possible. Do you think you could get this taken care of? Best, Influencer Performance Marketing Campaign Manager." Okay. Now, a little bit later in the afternoon, or actually in the morning still. Okay, so this one comes in at 9:18, and then at 9:42 we have this, and it says, "Yes, we can do that. Warmest regards." Okay, whatever was going on there. Then we have this here, and it says, "Thank you so much. Hi, thank you so much. We really appreciate you assisting with that. For the same reason, we also won't be able to run Miranda in our something campaign. We will ensure that payment is taken care of for the work that has been done, but I wanted to let you know as soon as possible. I hope you can understand, and again, thank you so much for your efforts getting the story set taken down. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Best." Somebody from the influence marketing program. So then we come over here and we have this. And it's still, this one is in April 2nd. Let's see here. So we have this. And it's just showing what they want out, because it says, "You mentioned in your story. You mentioned in your story." So this is an email, and it's from somebody to 7M. The subject is promo with Miranda. So basically, it might have been to Shin or Miranda or both saying, you know, "Hey, you mentioned them." So maybe it was here, and when she was so excited saying, "Hey, I'm going to be with Elite," you know, or whatever it was that she did here. Then we come over here, and I have this here, and it's June 9th, 2022. And it says the something app has a long-term collab proposal for Miranda. And it says, "Hi there. Hope you are well. Coming back to discuss the partnership. We feel like there is still some negative publicity going on in the media, so we'd like to not move further with this collaboration. Best, Partnerships Marketing Manager." So because Miranda has some asshole in Hanover, Minnesota, talking about her from her ugly brown couch in her ugly brown room, then Miranda, who's done everything right all of her life and is incredibly dedicated, talented, and has worked all of her life to get where she was, gets it taken away from her, and this is okay with people? They want to sit there and cheer that on? Make sure that happens? What's wrong with this world? Something's wrong. And I'm glad that 7M is standing up and trying to get to the bottom of it and make sense of why Katie Joy does the things she does. Okay, so now we have over here, because it says, "Hi, Miranda, could you remove our story, please? We've received a lot of criticism due to this collaboration. Thank you for understanding." She says, "Hi there, yes, I can do that now." So they just have different screenshots where it has her and it has, you know, the brand, which we can glean that is Elite. And so they just give her the screenshots where it says it, where it says it, where it says it. So basically what happened is when she did this, then people would say, all of Katie Joy's minions would go over, and Katie Joy with all of her profiles would go over and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're doing this? Oh my gosh, you're with 7M, you're with a cult, you did this and that," all of the things. And what if it was just Katie Joy's alter ego user profiles? Who has time to be a social media, I can't say the T word on this, well, not twat, but, you know, I mean, the other word, that, she's a social media TERRORIST. That's what she does, because the very definition of that word is, you know, where unexpected chaos and tragedy can hit. And when you are a person who's worked all of your life to get where you're at, and all of a sudden it's taken away from you, that's tragic. That would be like somebody having an injury in the prime of their career. Miranda did nothing. Miranda has no relationship with Katie Joy. Katie Joy is just incredibly jealous of Miranda and James. What? Why? Why? Does she even think about how that hurts them? So then, we have over here, and this is like where she speaks like she's in her control room, like her brown couch is the TMZ News Center, her brown couch is the WOACB, the Katie Joy Central. As it says, "Last week, I contacted my colleagues at the LA Clippers to share information about this discovery and to ask them to look..." Okay, hold on. Because she's referring to this and referring to this. So once again, she is talking to herself, about the people that she talked to who were actually herself, and the turd in her pocket. Because there's nobody there. It's just her and the turd in her pocket. Because there's nobody talking to her. There's nobody telling her these things. If these people have told her these things, where are they and who are they? And why have they not went to law enforcement with their concerns? So she starts it and it's without a crystal ball. And like I said, where does that come from? Is she a mystic? Did she have a crystal ball? Did she have one and then it went away? I mean, what would make her say that? It would almost be, it's not a term that you use really. It doesn't just flow. It doesn't be like, well, without a crystal ball, I couldn't do this. Or, well, the person doesn't, you know, I mean, are crystal balls reliable? I mean, it's interesting. I'd love to know where she came up with that. But it's made me buy balls. And, you know, and my balls say that she's going to be in some big trouble. She's in more dog shit than she needs to pick up in a day with, what, 4 dogs and 2 cats? Or 2 dogs and 4 cats? I don't know. That's a lot of turds. And you never see the animals coming up and loving her. You know, it's really weird. Does Toad have to take care of them too? So, it says here, without a crystal ball, I have spoken to multiple talent agents and managers along with talent industry insiders who have applied pressure to the Clippers management to cut ties with 7M. What? Last week, an insider told me the Clippers abruptly canceled Crucified's show for the week. The same thing happened this week. We are hearing extremely concerning information coming out about Robert Israel Shin. Who is we? We are hearing, like I say, she thinks she's TMZ. And then we have heard that he and his team have been planning to build a sanctuary for artists to live, work, and pay them for everything. See, if she wants to be a journalist, she needs to learn how to write correctly. Her grammar, punctuation, syntax, articulation is not professional. It looks to me like something happened to her between 6th and 8th grade that affected the way that she learns. She says she always wanted to be a journalist. She always wanted to be a writer. So what's holding her back? Go to college. Get your degree in journalism. Be a writer. Work for companies. Write stories that are actually legit and earn a good reputation. Journalists don't go into the profession for money. They go into it to tell a story, to give others a voice. She's doing the opposite. She's making people disempowered. She's taking away people's dreams. She is the joy killer. She takes joy away from people. Oh, Katie Joy Robber. I mean, I know that we all call her joyless, but it's got to be something more like that, that like takes the joy right out of joy. So then we come over here, and this is the way that she writes it, because she's like, oh yes, we've got this going here. So last week, I contacted my colleagues at the LA Clippers to share information about this discovery and to ask them to look into it further and possibly separate with the Crump team, including all of the guys and led by Daniel, where I'm told they always let to themselves and for the most part disassociated with others while in the arena. Good news, they were canceled for the performance they were supposed to do that same night, as well as indefinitely, and the Clips agreed to launch an investigation into this group further in the meantime. Small victories. Now we know that Katie Joy fakes texts. We saw that she just did that when she was trying to set up her husband to look for a joke. We saw that she can fake texts. So she probably wrote this and then acts like she's reporting on what she wrote. Don't look behind that curtain, people. You might find an ugly person on an ugly couch in an ugly room. Anyway. So then she comes over here. And why is she tagging all of them? Why does she tag the people that she is fighting with? So they can see that she's done this and just rub it in? Bizarre. So, go over here and it says, thank you so much for flagging this with us. We've removed the post and confirm it was not a collab of any sort, just a regram. We do not support 7M in any way and stand by supporting women. Thank you again for letting us know. So we have Spanx over here. This came from where it says you mentioned Spanx in your story. And then it says, thank you so much, Spanx, for doing the right thing. So in other words, she wrote this. She wrote, at Spanx, do you support cults that control every single aspect of a dancer's lives? And that's how she writes it. Of a dancer's lives. Their pastor controls everything they do and their money. Period. Every decision is controlled by the pastor and his team. They are told to submit and obey. The pastor allegedly takes away privileges when they don't obey, including jobs, friends, church, family, etc. That cool with you? Asking for a friend. And she writes, slavery still exists. So, what this was is that they're dancing and they've got Spanx on. So she sees this and she is like, okay, I'll attack the brand. And then they write back to her and she screenshots it because she's the one who did this. She is creating the narrative just as she is in creating this narrative that the other side isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, when in fact they have a restraining order on their material so that her mouth doesn't run with it and make content out of the lawsuit. So she's once again setting up the scenario to give her what she wants, so she makes all the money on it. People need to stop supporting unfounded accusations. They need to look into things themselves. So then she goes and tags all these people. How does she have time for this? You would think with such a medically fragile child and a husband who's very, very frustrated and kind of at his wit's end, dealing with his issues, as we've heard, you'd think that she would have higher priorities than what dancers in LA are doing and what they're wearing when they're dancing. But no, it's Katie Joy. More posts from Without a Crystal Ball. Okay, so then she has says, going to Instagram, log in to see photos and videos from friends and discover other accounts you'll love. I don't know what this is. Maybe this is somebody who sent, maybe somebody is sending this and saying, oh, look at Instagram and go and see photos and videos from friends to discover. I don't know what this is. But then it just has these posts. Let's see. What is this? For service of process contact. I'm not sure. But it's probably a post that she's written about the Duggars. Because like I was saying in the last episode, whenever Katie Joy has a little slow news day with herself, she's got to go Duggar, 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 Duggar. Wow. It's just sad. It's just sad that somebody has created a whole career out of hate because they're so possibly overwhelmed with the situation that they have going on in their own home, that they decided to make everybody in the world pay because they're unhappy? Is that what's going on with Katie Joy? Does everybody in the world have to pay because she's not happy with the way that her life turned out? Doesn't seem like that's a very good way to cope or provide a good example for your child, but I guess we all make those choices, and I don't know. It's just, I'm shocked. I am shocked by this. I'm shocked that more people don't know what's truly going on, and I am so happy that I've had enough time to look into this and be the one who's saying this and bringing it. But I need your help. I need you to share what we're finding out, because people need to know the truth, and I can only reach so many people. You can help me by sharing, by liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. So while you're busy doing that, I'll be busy making more content. Thanks again for listening. I really appreciate your time, and I'll look forward to catching up with you in the comments. Thanks. Bye-bye.